Ladies and gentlemen, since yesterday, there have been continuous drone bombings in Manipur. I don't know why the national media is not reporting it. Ladies and gentlemen, it started at 2 o'clock yesterday and it continued till 9:30 p.m. And I just got a news update half an hour back that there is a second series of drone bombings in Manipur. Ladies and gentlemen, I will put the pictures of some of these drone bombs and some of these drone attacks in Manipur. Foreign funded drone attacks. Not these pictures, the other ones, please, viewers. Foreign funded drone attacks have been going on in Manipur. These attacks have been more than 50 in number, which means there have been 50 aerial drone bombings in Manipur. And today the bombings have begun all over again. Viewers, these attacks have been carried out by very, very sophisticated drones. They've been carried out by the Kuki-Chin National Army, or KNF. I spoke to some security personnel just before coming into the program, and they told me that without doubt there is a major foreign hand in this. There is, in their words, the involvement of highly trained professionals with technical expertise and support, which means foreign armies are carrying out and supporting drone attacks on Indian territory. This is as good as an indirect, covert, foreign military operation. Viewers, the Kuki-Chin National Army is being supported by the Chinese. And we all know that the Chinese have been working very hard to escalate the situation in Manipur. Chinese weapons have been found, and the kind of drone bombings, and you're seeing some dramatic pictures on your screen, the kind of drone bombings that we've seen there in Manipur. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly the kind of drone bombings that are used by private armies who are fighting the military junta in parts of northern Myanmar, and all of them have got these weapons, these drones, this ammunition, this sophisticated technology from the Chinese. Ladies and gentlemen, this proves that the Chinese are behind the situation in Manipur. This is not just an ethnic conflict. This is clearly a Chinese conspiracy. The problem is that every time we try to solve the situation, Rahul Gandhi jumps straight in there. He flies in, he provokes the situation, he incites a little bit, and he goes back again. Connect the dots, ladies and gentlemen. Rahul Gandhi has also signed a secret agreement with the Chinese more than 10, 12, 13 years back. You remember the picture, ladies and gentlemen, of Rahul Gandhi signing an agreement with the Chinese in the presence of Xi Jinping and Sonia Gandhi. And now Rahul Gandhi is indirectly supporting the Chinese while they are supporting drone attacks on our soil. There is an indisputable Chinese hand behind the drone attacks, ladies and gentlemen, because these forces, the KNF, are supported by the PDF of Myanmar. The PDF is the military wing of the NUG, the National League of Democracy. And since May 2021, the PDF is controlling large parts of northern Myanmar, and they are being supported by the Chinese. So without doubt, indirectly, this is direct Chinese intervention in Manipur. I wonder why Rahul Gandhi continues to incite the situation. Viewers, also keep in mind that the Americans are involved in Manipur. The Manipur government recently banned a group because it was found to be a frontal organization receiving funding from the United States. So the Chinese are having a play and getting intervening in Manipur, and the Americans also are slowly getting involved. In fact, in April 2023, when the situation in Manipur was about to flare up, before the ethnic violence started, a whole lot of American and Western media journalists had landed up in April 2023 in Churachandpur before the ethnic flare-up. How did they know what was going to happen? How did they know that there would be bloodshed, there would be conflict? Why were they in advance? Can you believe it, viewers? How did parts of the American and Western media land up before an event happened? It is like a media person landing up in a place before a major news event happens. It can only happen if someone had tipped them off. Point I'm trying to make, viewers, is consider the larger situation I'm trying to describe before you. The Chinese are pushing Manipur and pushing India's northeast from the Myanmarese side. They have supported drone attacks on our soil. And the problem with our politicians like Rahul Gandhi is they will only use the situation in Manipur to do politics, where they know very well that it's a national security issue. The Congress party knows very well that there is Chinese involvement in arming groups in Manipur who are now carrying out drone attacks on our own people, on our own villages, on our soil. Manipur is not a political situation. It is clearly a situation where the deep states of China and America are directly involved. Now, on the other side, you have the Americans who are now controlling Bangladesh. And with radical groups like the Jamaat-e-Islami, they can open up the borders from the Bangladeshi side. The Chinese are opening up, attacking our borders from the Myanmarese side, and sandwiched in the middle of that is our most precious and beloved northeastern part of India. That is why I'm making this appeal tonight, viewers. Manipur is a grave national security situation. The entire situation in Manipur, Myanmar, on the India-Bangladesh border, on the India-Myanmar border is very much on the tenterhooks. Today, I would say our nation is under attack in Manipur. When there are drone attacks being carried out using foreign weapons on our soil, will we still do politics over it? I spoke to some security people on the ground, people in uniform, and I asked them, what do you feel about the politics? They said, it's so terrible. Brave security men who I spoke to said this is a national security issue, this is a battle for India's national interest, our supreme national interest, and we feel very disappointed when people like Rahul Gandhi fly in, flare up the situation a little bit and go back. The question we should all ask is tonight, will we unite for Manipur? It is not easy to handle a situation there. I'm not saying everything the government has done is right in Manipur, but mistakes have been made for a long time, not just over the last few years. But when we know today that the Americans on the one side through Myanmar, through Bangladesh are trying to intervene in Manipur, in India's northeast, when we know that the Chinese are supporting drone attacks on our side from the Myanmarese side, when we know the nation is under threat, when we know the nation is under attack, will we still do shallow politics over it? The time has come for us to take a deep look at what the reality of the situation in Manipur is all about. And we need to realize that if we allow the Americans in, if we allow the Chinese in, then our northeastern states will be under direct attack by the deep states of other countries. Viewers, one more point we need to keep in mind. The big fight between Sheikh Hasina and the Americans was over Sheikh Hasina's refusal to hand over parts of Bangladeshi territory, particular one island called St. Martin's Island, to the Americans to base their armed forces, their groups, their rebel, the American troops, to use it as a base to train rebels, to make sure that the rebels use the Bangladeshi route to enter into Myanmar. And now that the Americans have control over Bangladesh, they will do everything possible to push from the Bangladeshi side, and hence the northeastern part of India is going to get sandwiched between American interests being pushed through the military government in Bangladesh and Chinese interests being pushed through these terrorist groups and rebel groups from Myanmar. We still have the opportunity. I once again want to share with you the most disturbing visuals of the drone attack that happened yesterday and are continuing to happen in Manipur. And I appeal to every Indian to spread the message that foreign powers are getting involved in the situation in Manipur. We need to support our security forces now. We need to stop the politics immediately. And we need to understand that if you do not have a solution to an issue, then the politicians should stop meddling as well. We'll keep a very, very close watch on the situation in Manipur, ladies and gentlemen. The foreign hand in Manipur is only the most recent example of the deep states of China and America intervening to gain control over parts of territory between northeastern parts of India, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Our national security is at stake. Our sovereignty, ladies and gentlemen, is at risk. We make a call tonight for national unity on Manipur. Zero politics from now on.
And moving on, even as the national focus is on the foreign involvement in Manipur, Kuki group ITLF has now questioned Arnab's assessment of Manipur. However, they have not denied drone bombing in Manipur. I want to cut across to senior editor Shravan Sen, who joins us from the newsroom to take us through the details of the statement that has been released by this group. This clearly indicates, Shravan, how it has caused a storm after what Arnab spoke last night on the debate. What does this statement say?
Well, in fact, this has now become the biggest talking point. Republic Media Network is the only national news network on the ground. And Suesha, this has been an unprecedented drone attack that Manipur has actually witnessed, and perhaps for the first time ever in the history of Northeast India, we're looking at this kind of drone attacks that have taken place. And this is exactly what Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami had also raised in his debate, which has also become one of the biggest talking points, raising concerns about the foreign intervention. The reason why we are saying that there is a possible foreign intervention, I'll come to that in a short while from now. There is evidence to that effect, and that is the reason why there has been a well-researched story that we had put out on Arnab's show late last night. But now you have the umbrella group of the Kukis who have now put out a statement. In fact, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum has put out this statement after looking at Arnab Goswami's show late last night, where he's raised questions about the possible foreign intervention and the fact that this drone attack that you're looking at, about 50 crude bombs being dropped in a span of just about 7 hours, could not have happened without the help of some external force. And that is exactly why the Manipur government has also formed a high-level committee to look into these allegations. We are saying this on the basis of certain reports that have been accessed. We are saying this on the basis of the kind of ammunition that has been recovered by the Manipur police. In a short while from now, we're going to put out the list of the ammunition that has been recovered, which will give you a sense of what we are saying. But let's first take a look at the statement that has been issued by the ITLF. And the big takeaways of the ITLF's statement. Number one, they do not deny the drone bombing attacks that have taken place in Manipur. In fact, they're shifting the blame, saying that drones are easily available. Now, that's not the question that we were essentially raising, but the fact that the nature of attacks, the nature of explosives that have been, found, raises some very uncomfortable questions that as to who exactly was providing the insurgent group with the kind of explosives. Now, this is what they say. The Kuki-Zo conflict has nothing to do with Myanmar, US and China. That's the one big statement coming in from this press release. The other, the Kuki-Zo has no choice but to defend their territory and lives in response in Meitei's declaration of war against them. Now, this particular line that has been used by the group is an indication of the fact that such a conflict has taken place. The fact that they have not condemned the drone attacks that have taken place in that very area is also another cause of concern. The second that they are saying, the reason why they are dissing Republic Media Network's report is only because they say the drones are readily available in the market. Obtaining them does not require involvement from outside the country. So the question is, where exactly did this insurgent group get access to RPGs? How did they get access to the improvised devices that were used? How did they get access to the detonators that have been recovered? These are some questions that this statement does not answer. In fact, tonight at 9 p.m., Arnab is going to respond to all these questions that have been raised and the fact that we are going to put out a detailed report. We are the only news network on the ground looking at the extent of devastation that has taken place because of the drone attacks that have taken place since Sunday. Just to put this into perspective as to why we are saying that this is one of the biggest national security concern. The reason being, one, you're looking at over 50 bombs that were dropped in Imphal West, that's the periphery area, between 2:30 on Sunday afternoon to about 8:30 in the evening. And it does not stop there. The bombing continued even till about late last evening when Republic Media Network was reporting live around 9 o'clock in the evening. That has resulted in the death of several people. Now, the other important question here is the list of ammunition. If I can also get you the list right now of the ammunition that has been recovered by the Manipur police. Now, these are from several areas closer to Imphal West. We are talking about 159 ammunition rounds that have been recovered by the Manipur police after the searches that were carried out. You're looking at IEDs, over 12 IEDs that have been recovered so far. And it does not end with just that. AK-47s and .303 rifles that have also been recovered from the searches that have been carried out. So the question that comes up as to who exactly is arming this very insurgent group,
right,
and why there is no denial of the bombing that has taken place, the bombs that have been dropped in Imphal West.